Hi, I'm Sunny Eklund, and this is my audience. Oh, it's buzzing. Believe it or not, there is a city in Texas with no Walmart, no Starbucks, no McDonald's, and more surprisingly, no Dairy Queen. This is the city of Terlingua. If you ever want to go to a place where you never have to dress up, you're not surrounded by big commercial places all the time, and everyone you meet treats you like family, and every place you go there's always someone playing a guitar, Terlingua is the place for you. I've gone there a couple of times with my family, and I'm actually planning on going again for New Year's Eve. And after a little bit of research, I'm now going to tell you a little bit about the city of Terlingua, the rich history of the city, the unique climate of the area, and some friend attractions to visit if you do choose to go. First, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the city. According to Kenneth Ragsdale of the Texas State Historical Association, the city began around the 1800s. It was first established a few miles north of the Rio Grande River as a Mexican village on the Terlingua Creek. After quicksilver was found at Marfa and Mariposa mining camp, it became known as Terlingua. Once the Marfa and Mariposa mining camp closed, the post office that was established in the city was moved about 10 miles east to the Chisos mining camp, where they retained the name Terlingua, and that's where we know Terlingua today. In the early 1900s, it began to thrive. In 1913, the population was 1,000. They had a company-owned commissary and hotel. They had a company doctor, telephone service, a water supply, mail service, and they even established a public school. The reason why it thrived so well around World War I is because quicksilver production was at its highest, and in 1922, 40% of the quicksilver produced in the United States came from Terlingua. When quicksilver production began to decline, so did the city because it was surrounded by the production of it. And in 1942, the Chisos mining camp filed bankruptcy, which caused most people to leave the city, which is why it's called a ghost town now. In the 60s and 70s, the city saw a comeback due to tourism, and Terlingua became famous for its annual chili cook-offs, and the Chili Appreciation Society named Terlingua the chili capital of the world. After that, the company store was reopened and a bunch of business followed in its footsteps. And in 1994, there were 13 businesses in Terlingua with a population of 25. And in 2000, there were 44 businesses and a population of 267. So now that you know a little bit of history about the city, let's talk about what it actually feels like to be there and talk about the climate. The climate is very much desert-like because it is surrounded by a bunch of deserts. It's right next to Big Bend National Park. The average annual temperature, according to a U.S. weather website, in Terlingua is 67 degrees, which is just a couple of degrees higher than the annual average in Texas, and it is 12.5 degrees higher than the national average. The annual precipitation levels in Terlingua is about 11.7 inches, and compared to Texas, which is 35 inches, compared to the United States, which is 39 inches. So it's pretty dry, and they also have another measurement of the average number of days in a year where it has 0.1 plus inches of rain in that day, which basically means that you need an umbrella when you go outside. And for Terlingua, that's 24 days. For Texas, it's 49, and for the United States, it's 67. So now that you know what it feels like to be there, let's talk about some fun attractions that you can go to if you do choose to visit. If you talk to anyone that's been to Terlingua, they're going to tell you to go to one place, and that's the Porch. Along the Porch, there's a bunch of different places, but one of the more famous one is the Terlingua Trading Company. This is the former location of the Trading Post store that was at the Chisos Mining Company. You can get lost for hours in this place because there's just so much to look at, but their main points of focus are regional arts and crafts, gourmet goodies, and books full of regional secrets. The current owners of the store are actually direct family members of the first man who started the trading store while it was still owned by the Chisos Mining Company. Another fun place along the Porch is the Starlight Theater. We went there over the summer. My aunt and uncle took my boyfriend and I there, and my boyfriend ate a $20 burger and ate every single bite of it, and it was huge. My favorite place in Terlingua actually is not along the Porch. It's in the middle of the city, and it's called La Kiva, and it is a bar that is actually underground in a cave. It is believed that it used to be used for spiritual ceremonies by the ancient Pueblo people of the Southwest. The founder of La Kiva is Gilbert Phelps. Feltz, who is known for how absolutely crazy he was. He's featured in 2 documentaries about La Kiva, and one of them was Ghost Town 24 Hours in Terlingua, and the other one was Barbecue, A Texas Love Story. GQ magazine named La Kiva the #1 most bizarre bar you must visit before you die, and Men's Journal magazine named it one of the 50 best bars in America. There's a funny story about the men's urinal at La Kiva, and it's what it is. It's a huge iron pot, and the story behind it is that Gilbert stole the pot from his mom, who loves the pot and grew flowers in it, and he stole it, threw it in the back of his truck, and his mom chased him for a mile as he drove to La Kiva to drop it off, and it's still there today. So those were some really fun places to visit in Terlingua, and I highly recommend that you go to them. So as you can see, it's a very fascinating place to go to, and now that you know a little bit more about the city's history, what kind of clothes to pack for the weather, and a few places to go while you're there, I hope that you do decide to visit someday, and I'm very excited about going over the next couple days. And thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of y'all's time to talk about a place that I really like. Audience, still here?